This is IUP TV News, broadcast from Davis Hall. We will bring you our weekly news bulletin. I'm Johnny Levan.
And I'm Emma McCarthy. Today we will bring you stories related to IUP and the Indiana community. We will begin with local news. IU Patty's weekend has just ended and police are saying it was significantly quieter compared to previous years. On and off campus, police monitored the area from the 21st through the 24th and have reported 0 significant incidents. There were 103 traffic citations this year, down from the 360 from the previous year. Along with that, there were 25 alcohol law violations, down from 40, and just 1 drug offense, down from 44 in 2018.
President Driscoll is going to be on what he calls a listening tour. For the next 18 months, Indiana University of Pennsylvania will hold forums on all levels across all divisions and colleges, including sessions at the North Point and Punxsutawney campuses. President Driscoll has said that this is a year of free speech at IUP, where students and others would be educated on what it means to be responsible with our rights and to be respectful of others. It is expected that the discussion will include increases for students' fees for fall 2019, which include a mandatory wellness fee, optional service fees, meal costs, and resident hall fees.
Last week, IUP celebrated the Bill and Judy Sheeran Literacy Center with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. Bill Sheeran is a retired chairman of the Hempfield Area High School District Library Department. He graduated from IUP in 1968. Judy Sheeran is a longtime technology professor at Westmoreland Community College. The center provides assessments and instructions for children and adolescents who need assistance with reading and writing.
It has been over a year since the Parkland shooting happened in Florida. The community is still seeing effects after 2 survivors have committed suicide this past week. An event is being held in their honor on April 2nd. Florida therapists will be volunteering their time to offer free services to the community. Past survivors of attacks such as 9/11 and the Columbine shooting will be speaking to share their experiences and offer support as well.
In a joint statement, the American Pediatrics and the American Heart Association call for restrictions on marketing sugary drinks to children in the form of taxes limiting marketing sugary drinks to children, as well as financial incentives to encourage healthier beverage choices. Pediatricians have long warned parents about the risks of consuming too many sugary drinks, including the link to type 2 diabetes and obesity. The soda industry has spent millions of dollars to fend off the soda taxes, and the American Beverage Association argues that there is a better way to reduce the amount of sugar consumers get from beverages.
Due to some concern towards social media influence, the government of Ukraine offers a class on learning how to be better in assessing what students read, see, and hear. A new report from International Research Exchange organization says that students from 8th and 9th grade were able to identify false information and hate speech after their lessons. The organization began Ukraine's Learn to Discern program in 2015 after Russia's annexation of Crimea. IREX is a US-based organization. Even though the similar idea is important, it needs more national discussion if it will be implemented in the US schools nationwide.
And now we're reporting a story close to home. IU Patties this year went with great success. Students from the broadcast writing class reported various stories from our news team. The first one is from Jacob Slobodnik, who described the story about a few activities done by a few organizations in IUP during IU Patties. Here's the story.
In a way to preserve the reputation of IUP during IU Patties, student organizations on campus are hard at work to spread awareness of the dangers of alcohol.
What is your organization doing, if anything, to promote alcohol awareness and safer drinking this weekend?
We put out posters all over campus and off campus that talk about like drinking water and traveling in pairs, and we're also handing out water today to promote hydration so that people and talk about like being aware of your surroundings.
So our organization, Phi Sigma Pi, is participating in IUP Leads. So a bunch of us got together this week and made safe drinking signs that we hung up around campus. And we're out here chalking and writing like positive messages about safe drinking. And we're also handing out water to even those that don't want to take it, because everyone needs to stay hydrated.
According to the CDC, 4,300 yearly alcohol-related deaths are of students under the age of 21. Student committees on campus aim to help lead students away from the dangerous side of drinking as part of a campus-wide project known as IUP Leads. This project will promote safer drinking habits such as handing out water bottles and pamphlets with information regarding tips to drink safely. Their main focus? Raising awareness of drinking excessively underage.
Ann Sesty, Director of the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Other Drug Program. There is a large presence of police entities in the vicinity this weekend, so it is plausible that if students are drunk and staggering that they will be stopped by the police.
Some even have multiple plans for leading students.
We just put in work with ATOD and the other people that are in charge of the IUP Leads initiative. We've had lots of interaction with students, just like promoting safety on campus.
Now, a common misconception among students regarding these organizations is that they are against drinking to the fullest extent. In fact, these groups promote safer drinking habits by hosting events such as IUP Leads and handing out pamphlets with tips on how to drink safely.
We're not here to make sure that students don't have a good time. What we want to ensure is that all students are safe and are making safe, healthy choices.
I think that we highlight being aware of underage drinking because we have a lot of students that are underage living in the residence halls. We work a lot with University Police to highlight the fact that it's not safe in most cases, but acknowledging that people do underage drink is important as well so that we can help them stay safe.
These groups will be out during the weekend of IU Patties, assisting students from dusk to dawn, making drinking and partying a safe and fun-filled experience rather than one with negative repercussions. Reporting from IU Patties festivities, I'm Jake Slobodnik, IUP TV News.
For many students, IU Patties is considered the biggest celebration for IUP students. While many people think that all students were out and about enjoying the party, others chose to do something else. Adam Dwork has his story.
During IU Patties, you'll see and hear stories of thousands of people celebrating on and off campus. However, that doesn't represent all of IUP students. Some would rather have a laid-back weekend, such as Kayla Veith, a sophomore who is not interested in parties.
I just feel as though that the parties that IUP has are just too crazy for me, and I'd rather just socialize with a bunch of people and hang out and just be myself than be someone that I'm not.
With these big parties, there are a lot of risks attending them. Police are out in full force to ensure the safety of everyone. Last year, there were 140 criminal offenses. This is Deja, a senior who is more concerned for her safety.
So the reason why I don't go to big parties on IU parties is because I don't want to take the risks and getting caught by the police because I will go to jail and also my parents will have to bail me out.
Students that usually don't go out will sometimes make an exception for IU Patties. This is Ashley, a sophomore at IUP who still likes to be festive but doesn't like the craziness of partying.
Normally I don't like going out to parties, but I like to experience IU Patties, and I like to go to smaller parties because it's more safe and more comfortable and frankly more fun to me.
Kayla, Deja, and Ashley are not the only stories here at IUP, but they are part of the minority of students who don't go out for IU Patties. Whether you celebrate it or not, I hope you had a fun and safe weekend. This is Adam Dwork reporting for IUP TV News.
Coming up, Michael Costa will bring you sports and news. Stay tuned.
The Communications, Media, and Instructional Technology PhD program gave my life direction. This program was perfect for me with a combination of research and media production. Hands-on courses gave me skills that I now pass on to my students. I use all three areas of the program, production, theory, and research, every day in my job as a college professor.
Learn how the CMIT PhD program can change your life. Visit iup.edu/CMIT.
After the first two rounds of March Madness tournament, this year is coming together to be one of the best in a different way. Instead of numerous upsets and buzzer beaters viewers are used to, the bracket this year has boiled down to all 4 #1 seeds, 2 seeds, and 3 seeds advancing. The unanimous favorite for most of the country, the Duke Blue Devils, advanced in dramatic fashion with a win that came down to the wire against UCF. With a roster so talented, one of the only things that could stop their run is poor perimeter shooting, which is what the Virginia Tech Hokies do well, with Justin Robinson at 39.5%. Both teams will play this Friday, the 29th. Roy Williams has taken his team to a whole other level for the Tar Heels through improvements on their defense and ability to stay consistent throughout the last 2 months. After beating Iona and Washington with no problem, the Tar Heels will take on the 5-seeded Auburn Tigers. With the loss against UMBC in the back of the fans' minds, the Virginia Cavaliers looked traumatized after the first half against Gardner-Webb. However, they came out on top with 4 players on the roster shooting over 40% from deep. They'll look to regroup with most of the favorable matchup over the 12-seeded Oregon Ducks to move into the Elite Eight. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are the remaining number 1 seed, who will take on the Florida State Seminoles on Thursday night, the 28th. With top-tier defenses coming up, Josh Perkins and Zach Norvell's shot-making abilities will need to show up against the Seminoles and the winner of the Texas Tech-Michigan game in the next round, since all the teams have very physical and defensive teams. In a recent tweet this morning on Tuesday, the 26th, UFC superstar Conor McGregor has abruptly retired from mixed martial arts. Those who tuned into The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon were confused since McGregor announced in a pre-taped interview that he and the UFC were negotiating a potential return to the octagon in July. UFC President Dana White told ESPN that McGregor's retirement totally makes sense and believes it's legitimate. McGregor was also noted saying he has done his piece for the company and that he and his family are set for life. McGregor will potentially retire at 21-4 with 18 wins coming via knockout. Closing the interview, McGregor said, "We are good, but I'm eager to fight. So we'll see what happens. I'm staying ready." Bosnian center Jusuf Nurkic suffered a career-threatening lower left leg injury against the playoff-clinching win over the Brooklyn Nets Monday night. Nurkic's injury was a compound fracture to both his tibia and his fibia, ending his season, while his 15.4 points were third on the roster behind Lillard and McCollum. Nurkic shined in other aspects of the game, leading the Blazers with 10 rebounds and 2 blocks per game, as well as second in 3.2 assists. Having only missed 1 game his whole NBA career to injury, the Trail Blazers will now have to find a way to fit someone else into the mix who can help bring the Trail Blazers their first postseason series win for the first time in 3 years.
Spring has sprung a new addition to our program.
Our reporter Tyreek will report entertainment and lifestyle. Here's Tyreek.
So Justin Bieber went on Instagram March 25th explaining that he will not be releasing music anytime soon. Now Bieber said that he wants to focus on his marriage and his mental health first. Previously, he had a tour in 2017. However, some of them were canceled. In a statement, he said that he was not happy touring and did not want to disappoint his fans. Now, if you're a Justin Bieber fan, don't worry. In his caption, Justin wrote that he'll return with a whole new album, and his swag is undeniable. So his drive is indescribable. And those are quotes. Good news for Sony in 2015. In 2015, they made a deal to share the rights to Spider-Man with Marvel Studios. And since then, they've come out with 3 new widely accepted adaptations of the character. We got Tom Holland Spider-Man. We got Peter Parker Spider-Man and Ultimate in Spider-Man PS4. We got the most recent Miles Morales Spider-Man in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, initially released back in December, Into the Spider-Verse follows a teenage Miles Morales as he becomes the new Spider-Man of his reality after the death of Peter Parker. Miles crosses paths with his 5 counterparts from another dimension to stop all realities from falling apart. It's a dope movie. You should have seen it. Back to you, Johnny.
In light of the shooting that took place in New Zealand 2 weeks ago, Indiana community, including Muslim students, faculties, professionals, as well as residents, expressed their concern. Our reporter Justin Cobb takes us to the mosque to show how people show solidarity.
Call for prayers can be heard in the only mosque in town. At the corner of Philadelphia Street, Indiana's Muslim community, including students, doctors, faculty, and other community members, got together to worship. However, recently, the tragedy in New Zealand shook many Muslim community members and allies around the globe. IUP is no exception. The Muslim Student Association chair described his thoughts about this incident.
Just one word, very sad. It's just sad to see people go into a peaceful place to have a comfortable environment and then just like to die and just like to have all this, like what happened, the massacre that happened in the mosque itself.
The week following the New Zealand Friday shootings sparked several different events across the Indiana community. Thursday evening, faculty and staff gathered in the Humanities Building to listen to speeches given by the IUP Muslim faculty members and allies. Dean Asamoah spoke on behalf of President Driscoll, who could not make it to the event.
I regret that I'm not unable to be present, but I want you to know that I join you and everyone around the world who was shocked and angered by the horrific event in Christchurch, New Zealand.
I asked Yazid, a Muslim PhD student from Saudi Arabia, about his thoughts concerning the massacres in New Zealand.
Trying to make others as monsters is something comes only from ignorance. People in general always feel what they don't know.
To challenge this, the Islamic Center of Indiana opened its doors for Muslims and non-Muslims alike in an open house on Friday, the Islamic Day of Rest. At the mosque, food from around the globe was present, highlighting the diversity of Muslims here at IUP and around the globe. Books on Islamic theology were available for all attending. Muslims spoke during the event. Attendees were also granted the opportunity to witness Muslims praying inside the Islamic Center. While tragedy brought the community together, perhaps we can take a lesson from the Muslims of the Islamic Center and those who stood with them, that no matter what God we pray to, we are all people, and the first step in challenging fear and hatred is through knowledge and love. While tragedy brought the community together, perhaps we can take a lesson from the Muslims of the Islamic Center and those who stood with them, that no matter what God we pray to, we are all people, and the first step in challenging fear and hatred is through knowledge and love. This is Justin Cobb, reporting for IUP TV News.
There are various fun activities that takes place this week. The Hispanic Dance Carnival will take place this Saturday, March 30th in the Hub Ohio Room. Don't forget to bring your iCard to enjoy a fun evening of dancing with friends.
A new exhibit will be open this Saturday as well. This is a showcase of the work from 7 emerging artists who are finishing their Master of Fine Arts program at IUP. Please stay tuned.
We'll see you next week.